Well. Look at you, here again. As crypto's pumping, ETH is moving, alt season is starting, and all our coins from the past videos are already up 2-3x. And here you are, at the last possible moment, the last possible second to get in, seeking the Alpha Poppy's help, the Golden God, the Master Chief of Crypto, the most woke, empty house, tri-state orange eating champion himself. You are here looking for the hottest list of altcoins that are gonna go POP! But like Kim Kardashian and washed up rappers and NBA players, we like what we like on this channel and we're never gonna change. We're doing the same old classic, vintage, good old-fashioned Alpha Poppy altcoin video right now. Look, we've talked about altcoins the last few videos. They're already up 2-3x. But even then, with those girthy gains, the entries on alts right now are insane. The list I'm going to go through right now, while they're up, are sitting at buy points. So they're going to 5, 10x, 15x here in the next couple of months. This is probably going to get started in the next couple of days. Heck, probably when I start this video, because as you know, most famous man in crypto, but I'm also the most humble 6 years running, so we're not going to talk about that. We're going to act like I don't run this industry. Shh. But that's just a simple truth, because we got Ethereum crossing $3,000. And as soon as it crosses about $3,500, we're about to see the entire altcoin market go insane. And I think that's going to be happening here very soon, because the elites, the richest people in the world, they've recently discovered Ethereum. They've discovered that it's young, a new technology, only 9 years old, able to do pretty much anything. And if you want to, you can store it on a private island. And I don't know if you've seen the Epstein cover-up lately, but that makes it extremely attractive to the elites of the world. They're literally foaming at the mouth and getting all sweaty thinking about it right now. And that means you have a very limited time before this happens. And oh boy, we've been waiting for this move for years. So without further ado, I'm going to drop the jokes. I know you guys come for the high yucks, but we don't have time for that. I'm going to be getting into this market, what's happening right now, and the coins in each sector that I think are going to move the absolute most. So take off your shirt, put on a diaper, grab your chocolate milk, groom your neck beard, covered it in lube. Tell your mother to stay the fuck out of your room for the next 15 minutes. Because you and me, we got to talk. Because motherfucker, this is your last chance. Okay, so first things first, we got to discuss the market. After I discuss the market here for a few minutes, we're gonna get into the coins. I know that's what you came for, but, I beg you, I plead with you, glasses off, character aside, please, you must listen to this part right here, because the most important thing about actually making money from this bull run, if we get it right here, this alt run we're looking like we're gonna see, is you have to understand the foundation of this market right here, why things are happening. If you just come to this video and buy coins I mentioned, it is financial suicide. Also, please read the disclaimer. This is the dumbest way you can ever use you should do anything this channel says. In just the first 3 minutes of this video, I've discussed Kim Kardashian's sex life and elites pedoing Ethereum. This is not a quality, what are you doing here? Not financial advice, I'm only gonna say it once. But jokes aside, the way you're gonna survive here is every coin in this market's gonna do well. Everyone's gonna look like a genius the next few months. Now, not as big as a genius as me, because I was literally here at the lows this year, talking shit in the trenches with you, throwing millions of dollars into the market while everybody else is going, oh, World War III, oh, I hope the Middle East doesn't ruin my bags. I better get out of the market and quit. But I'm not going to say that right here. I'm very humble. I'm not here to talk myself up. Because everyone, including myself, is going to look like a genius the next few months. Any coin you get into, you're probably going to make money in. I think the ones I'm going to talk about in this video are going to give the highest returns, but everything's going to do well. The key here is understanding why it's doing well, what's making it do well, so that you sell on time. Because 95% of people here are still going to lose all their money despite all the gains we're about to see. And we're not going to see another one of these ever again. I think this is the last crazy, unregulated shit show bull run we're ever going to see. So please pay attention to these first 5 minutes. And then I'll give you coins. I'll give you pencil sharpeners you can stick your dick in. I'll give you some matches. You can go play with the fire and gasoline. It's fine. Please, just listen to this first part. So first things first, 3,500 ETH, I dropped my meme coin. The whitelist for it is going to be controlled by who's subscribed to this channel, who likes these videos, and who follows me on X at ZSS Becker. If you're not on that list, you're not going to get on the whitelist. It's that damn simple. So like, subscribe, follow me on X. Now let's talk about the market. Here's what's going on, and here's why we're about to see a big alt run, and here's why you should be paying attention. So Bitcoin is pumping up to $120,000. Great, that's awesome. What we really want to be talking about right here is Ethereum, because last year in 2024, I don't know if you guys remember, but 2024, I was telling you the elites were stacking up Bitcoin, and during this time frame right here, this is when the ETF hit, and it just flatlined right here, and everybody thought Bitcoin was dead, but this entire time, BlackRock and all the richest people in the world, all the banks, everybody was stacking all up while suppressing the price, and then the price couldn't get suppressed anymore, and Okay, and that's happening even more right here, except the secret is out on Bitcoin. Now, what's been happening the last few months, and people have been hating on me nonstop for pointing this out, just like Bitcoin. I was literally right here saying buy everything, but in my defense, I've been saying buy everything this entire time. Anytime we dip below 2,000, I was saying buy Ethereum and altcoins, because this is what's about to happen. We saw the same exact lame duck movement on the ETH ETF that we saw with Bitcoin. It was textbook. It was the same exact thing. And now we're seeing the same parabolic move up, and people are like, what's going on? It's the same exact thing they did with Bitcoin, down to the playbook. BlackRock, banks, governments, everybody's been accumulating the hell out of this thing while keeping the price under $2,000 and now $3,000. It can't be kept any lower. The amount of Ethereum that's on exchanges is at all-time lows. Banks and everybody's using it, and I'm not going to break down all the points of Ethereum in this video, because the point of this video is getting super turbo rich on all of our little altcoins. Trust me, I know you guys have came. This is the cesspool. This is the red light district. This is the Amsterdam strip club of crypto YouTube channels. Trust me, you're going to see some tits here. We're not going to be preaching good old financial responsible investing. I'm here to give you a cannon that you can blow your dick off with. Trust me, we'll get into it. But Ethereum is going to be the financial transactor, or at least in the short term, the financial transactor for the entire world. This is trillions of transactions being run and requiring Ethereum to use. And every single bank, every single government, every single super elite, every single financial institution, every transaction company, every e-commerce company is building stuff on top of this. It cannot be kept any lower any longer. They cannot suppress the price. And they've been keeping all of this off the airwaves, all of this off the TV. They're about to tell all their news stations and everybody, hey, crypto's good again. And this is while there is more sideline money than there has ever been before. At this point in time, we are about to see rates get lower. There is more money sidelined than ever before. And the golden goose of all of this is Ethereum is about to allow staking on its ETF, which means people can not only buy Ethereum, they can stake it, and it will give them passive income. This makes it the trifecta investment. This makes it one of the hottest assets in all of Wall Street, because not only can someone buy it like a tech stock that's always going up, like a Facebook or an Amazon or a Tesla, it also provides passive income like a treasury or a bond, and it's also a resource that must be used like gold or oil. You have to use Ethereum to run transactions. It is in the most disgusting situation it's ever been, and this is what I've been saying this entire time. This is why for the past years, even right here, this whole entire time I've been accumulating altcoins, because this thing is going to go back up to all-time highs. And here's what happens when Ethereum goes to all-time highs and how it ties into what we're doing. Now look, I have tons of Bitcoin. I have tons of Ethereum, but that's like my responsible common sense investing. I like the dirty stuff, guys. I'm trying to go for the cross football field three-pointer right here. And the way you get the big bucks in crypto, or at least my thesis that I've kept for years now, and I've been waiting for this exact moment for, is this. When Ethereum goes up to its all-time high, and when Ethereum starts moving, all the altcoins below it start moving. Now, for the first time ever, we're seeing Wall Street and really big money taking interest in these little shit bags right here, which is going to cause these things to hit massive speculation. Ethereum's going to go back up to $4,500, $5,000, probably $6,000. It's going to happen unless we see World War III or some cataclysmic black swan happen. The end. It's over. Now, when that happens, everyone's going to see how much money it made, and they're going to think, where do I make my next bucks? They're going to come down to these things right here, and we're going to see massive speculation and overvaluation on all of these assets right here. And I'll get into some of these ones right here we can buy if we're just making like a simple, boring beginner portfolio, because these are just great. These are all going to do really well. I mean, Cardano's up 20% in a day, 28% in the last... I'm making a lot of money in my Cardano bags. That makes me feel disgusting. The amount of resentment I know that all the little grubby 5'2" Harry Potter motherfuckers living under a staircase as some of their dude bangs their wife upstairs and the knives on the ham in the refrigerator, barely lets them get access to the Wi-Fi. Those motherfuckers are about to get rich. You're about to see all the little Cardano holders rollerblading around town, all tubby, about this far off the ground. Their new Richard Mille watches. Their wife finally responding to them on Friday nights. They're going to get really cocky. It's going to be really gross here. This is, you want to see something terrible happen, watch Cardano holders make money. It is the worst fucking thing on earth. Anyways, these are going to get massive overvaluations. And then it's going to trigger huge speculation in the smaller coins, like an AI. Now, these really haven't started moving yet. And I'm going to talk about the smaller coins here in a second, and I think are going to do the biggest moves, because things move in a pattern here. And I want to break down the entire pattern we're about to see so you understand the pattern and you can play the pattern. But this speculation is going to carry over from these bigger coins. So people are going to make like a 5-6x on AVAX, and they're going to go, what's next? These are going to be next. And because the market caps on these are so much smaller, for example, the market cap on AVAX is $8 billion. It's going to take another $8 billion to move this thing. If $1 billion floats into any one of these coins, they do 5, 10, 20 X's like that. And if you think, oh, that sounds pretty outrageous, I want to show you a really good example. So I always use BNB, and this is a very strong example right here. But last run, what we saw is Ethereum started moving around this time right here, if you can follow the little green dot. And then when Ethereum started moving, we started seeing all the smaller coins that were similar to Ethereum and altness, and the speculation hit these, and then these went like this. Okay. If you go look at something like Theta, for example, this is a really good example of a coin from last run. Ethereum started moving, it pumped up a little bit, and then it went poof. And if you got in on these coins right here, they're at 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever. It went all the way up to $12. This is a really good example of the alt type behavior we're probably going to see in smaller coins, because what we've seen was the darkest, most oversold altcoin market ever. Like, it was worse than what we were seeing right here. The amount of interest and retail interest in altcoins combined with what meme coins did to them put altcoins in such a terrible spot that the prices they're still at right now are cataclysmically low. It was the worst altcoin bear market, I think, in the history of crypto. We saw Bitcoin interest, and it still is, at almost record lows. We saw crypto interest at record lows, and we saw altcoins not only forgotten about and at record low interest, but any interest that it was there with it was split with meme coins, and the meme coins really took the show. So the prices got stupid. This stupid, ignoring, disregard of the altcoin market, it's done. Because what caused this originally, and the reason why we saw altcoins really get slaughtered, is because Ethereum was not moving. It was just at terrible prices and not moving, and no one cared about it. It's the hottest investment in all of Wall Street in crypto right now for big money. That means we are about to see utility alt season. And that means these coins right here are going to follow this pattern. We're going to see Ethereum right here start to move up. And so we're about $3,000 right here. At about $3,500, people are start to get really excited. At $4,000, people are going to lose their mind. At $4,500 all-time highs, people will be throwing money at literally anything. It won't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a good project. It doesn't matter if it's vaporware. And by the way, most of crypto is vaporware. We're not here investing in the future, guys. This is not us investing in the future of Facebook. Most of these projects and coins do nothing. No one cares. Last bull run, we saw people being offered $450,000 for a picture of a monkey. They said no. We saw gaming coins that had no players hitting $6-10 billion valuations. No one cares that these coins don't do anything. You need to walk it out of your head right now. Every other channel out there is going to be telling you this is the future of everything, blah, 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 blah. Hold these coins, I only buy quickly. No, guys, we are buying these coins to buy low and sell high. They don't do anything. We are not here to be responsible future investors in the world. We are here to capitalize on this massive tulip mania we're about to see and get the fuck out. And so when we cross $4,500 right here, and then $5,000 and $6,000, people are going to start losing their fucking minds. And the valuations we're going to see on these altcoins right here and then the altcoins underneath them is not going to make any sense at all. It didn't last run. And if you're semi-new to crypto, you weren't here 5 years ago, you can't even imagine how ridiculous people get. And last run, we didn't have the most sideline money ever in the history of the world. We didn't have elites, Wall Street, institution, banks all getting into it. What we're about to see, I think, is going to be ridiculous. And this is what I've been holding for the last couple of years. This is why I didn't sell anything when we were pumping last year, because we didn't see an Ethereum all-time high. This is why when ETH was at $2,000, when ETH was at $1,500, when ETH was at $1,800, I was screaming buy altcoins, and I kept throwing in more and more and more and more money into it. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. At this point, literally tens of millions of dollars I added to my portfolio during this time because of what we're about to see right here. I'm all in. What we're going to see is once Ethereum hits this point right here, we're going to see these smaller altcoins right here, not smaller, these are large ones, they're going to pump next. We're going to see, for example, like Cardano go from like 76 cents to like $3. So that's going to pump next, and it's going to go in these waves. And then what we're going to see after these coins, like Cardano, AVAX, probably the biggest runner I think is going to be AVAX. But we're going to see like AVAX and Cardano do like 3-4X's. And then we're going to see these smaller coins that we like to play in right here. They're going to go and do the 10X's and everything that we started seeing last run. This is the pattern. This is what's happening. This is why it's going to happen. I wanted to convey this to you because if you understand this pattern right here, you don't need the coins I'm going to mention in this video. I want to be completely transparent with you. Glasses off. Every coin's going to do very well, and if you understand the foundation of why they're moving and what's going on in the market, you don't need this video. You're going to be able to play it on your own. And what I want for you to be able to do is to be able to think for yourself. I want you to be able to use the logic I'm using on this channel to make money for yourself. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, when we get to 4,500 ETH and stuff like that. It's every single man for himself. I'm looking to leave with massive profit here. I'm not looking to hold these bags back down. I think there's going to be a massive crash just like there is every single run. And so as we get closer to all-time high, you got to be able to think for yourself. I'm taking no responsibility for you. I'm going to sell a lot of my coins because I've been waiting years for this moment. So I want to set you up to win. I want to set you up to think for yourself. I don't want to just give you a bunch of coins, which, by the way, I don't suggest you buy any coins that I mentioned in this video. I suggest you use the logic I use to buy coins and how I'm looking at these coins to find your own coins. That you understand. So when we hit these points, you're able to take profits on your own and get out alive, because I'm going to tell you straight up, this is a bloody arena. 90% of people, 95% of people are going to leave in massive loss. That's how it always is. That means if there's 100,000 people all interacting in crypto, there's only going to be a few thousand that leave in profit. The only way you're going to be one of those people is not based on the magic coins you pick. It's based on how you view the market and this trend and this pattern we're looking at right here. And so my final advice before we get into these coins, what we're going to see in this market is probably something like this. We're going to see ETH run. We're going to see the coins underneath ETH run. We're going to see the altcoins run. We might see ETH then dip, these dip, and then these dip, and then it bounce back up again. And we're going to see them follow that same exact pattern again. And at one of these points right here on these dips, we're going to see ETH wipe out. These coins will keep going. Then they'll wipe out, and then these coins will keep going, and then they'll wipe out. And this is the pattern or the wave that crypto is going to fall in a typical alt market. We might see something different, but this is what I think we're going to see. So where are these runs going to be, and what should we be looking at, or how should we be thinking about our portfolios? I want to talk about 3 different portfolio types. So first off, if you're watching this channel, there is a very, 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 very good chance you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And that's fine. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing either. I'm just over here gambling with tens of millions of dollars. If you think I'm over here with some quant and some AI algorithm like massively playing, no, man, I've just been like, hey, I think we could make a lot of money on this bet. And the way I view this market, and I say this every video, but I want you to view it like this as well. It's like we're at a roulette table in Vegas. And I think there's a 50-50 chance that we see a crazy alt market, or we just don't see anything. And it's looking more and more like we're going to see that alt market. However, if we win this 50-50 bet right here, we get 10, 20x's returns on our money. If we lose the bet and it hits black, for example, and we bet red, we're going to lose 50% of our money from here. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to stink. But whatever, you're not going to see many odds where you can bet a 50-50 chance and you see that huge amount of money come in, or those huge returns on that type of bet. It's just extremely lopsided. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to predict or read some super analytical form of the market. I just think that's the bet that's being taken right here. I'll take the bet. But it's gambling. It is just gambling. I offer no assurances. So I want to go through a few different types of portfolios you can build. And I want to start from the ones that are not going to ruin your life if you go all in on them. Okay? These are ones that you can probably hold for a long time. I think they're going to be in the future of crypto. You could probably invest in these long term. They're all going to crash at the end of the market. We're all going to see the nightmarish dumps, but they're still at really low prices in my opinion. And we're going to work our way down to like a phase 2 portfolio where, look, these are actual good projects. They're probably going to pump very, very hard, but they will see a big crash. And then we're getting into some really dirty stuff, and this is where we're going to see the crazy 1030Xs. But this is like borderline vaporware mess, new project. A lot of the teams aren't vetted fully. The projects are very new. This is very, very high risk, high return crypto stuff, which I don't advise anybody that's been in crypto for less than 2-3 years to get into. And if you've been around for 2-3 years, you've already played in this pencil sharpened enough. You know the dangers. You've probably lost a ton of money already. So you know what you're getting into. If you are within your first year of crypto, I would stick to level 1. If you've been in it for 2 to 3 years, maybe level 2. You've been in it past 3 years, maybe you're here last bull run, level 3. So let's talk about level 1. What's going to do very well here? All right. So if you're new to this, I would just hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, but that's a different type of investing now. That's very long-term investing, like being in the stock market. I have massive amounts of Bitcoin. I have massive amounts of Ethereum. I'm not looking to get turbo rich on these things. I think Ethereum could 2, 3, 4x from here, but I'm holding Ethereum for a very long time. I'm holding Bitcoin for a very long time. I've held Bitcoin from about 40,000-ish. I bought massive amounts of Ethereum at $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. This is just something I'll just keep adding. I don't consider this like a crypto alt season portfolio. If we're getting into things that I think are going to do very well this alt season, there's places we can start. Now, Solana is great. A lot of you guys are going to like Solana. This is the capital of meme coins. I think Solana is going to do very, very well. I don't think it's going to outperform the ones I'm about to mention, but having Solana at the top of your altcoin portfolio, it's going to do very well. So I wouldn't be against having Solana in there. Dogecoin, probably going to do very well with Elon backing it and pumping and all those sorts of things. I don't like Dogecoin that much because I think it's going to do similar gains to these coins right here, but there's a chance it doesn't go anywhere as well if Elon gets busy. Like, he's very busy with the government stuff right now and everything. This is really tied to Elon. If people get into meme coins, they also want bigger returns, so they're probably going to start at like Pepe or something like that. I'm not really into meme coins. I don't really like meme coins, except for my meme coin, which is going to be dropping here, 3,500 ETH. I take 0 from it. I take no profit from it. I will hold none of the coin. I'm just going to drop in the market, whitelist it to all my subscribers and people that engage with me on X and follow me on X. So again, get in on that shit. But that's for lulz. If I'm really starting to get horny on bigger coins, I'm going to be going for Cardano. I think is going to do exceptionally well. Cardano's good tech. Cardano's good stuff. The followers, they're the type of guy that you invite over to your house party and he clogs the toilet so bad that like the entire house party's ruined because there's no toilets in the house and it reeks of shit and everyone's like, who ate so much Chipotle? They're that type of guy. All right. They're gross. The holders of Cardano, probably the worst people on planet Earth, but it's good. It's good tech. I think Cardano has a really good shot to being a long-term technology. I would go with Cardano. Hype is going to do very, very well. Sue it's a coin for connoisseurs. I actually don't know what Sue does. I see people talking about it all the time. I've done 0 research into Sue, but I love walking into our bedroom at 5 a.m. when my wife is still asleep and yelling, Sue! It's just really my favorite thing to do. Dinner parties, I get drunk, I yell, Sue! I also like to go to exotic events with very other rich people, and whenever I say Sue, they think I'm cultured. So it has a great name, it's fun to scream, and it looks French from my opinion. It looks like Je suis. And so for all those criterias and people talking about must be a good coin to invest in, I would go all in with it. It always pumps the hardest though. So like Sway is probably good. You should go with it. Chainlink, I love. I don't know when it's ever going to pump. It's the best coin in all of crypto, but I say it every video, never moves. It's like that traditional girl you went to high school with. She has great cheekbones, very pretty, very hot, caliente, but she wears modest clothes and works a stable job and goes to church every Sunday. And this market right here, we're only looking for OnlyFans, divorce you, take all your money kind of women. So it just makes Chainlink kind of like hard to push. Now, I think the one that's going to do the best here is AVAX. I think AVAX is going to be one of the biggest runners because it's setting up for a Sol-like narrative. Sol made this huge, massive move. And the reason why I'm not as big on Sol as other coins, because Sol's already done massive X's because of the meme coin run. I think AVAX is about to do this with gaming and everything that's going on over there. And then if I'm adding anything else to this, Monero, I think privacy is going to be huge. A lot of people are going to start transacting in crypto and they don't want people to watch it. And then where I'd be adding other things to the portfolio, this will be kind of the level 2, but that's going to be the big portfolio right there. All right. If I'm looking for like a big beginner portfolio, I would stop there. Now, the sectors in crypto that are going to run the most, if we're going to get into level 2 portfolio, I'm going to get in the coins that either build off of these coins right here or are in the AI or RWA sector. I also think gaming is going to do very, very, very well here soon. I think NFTs and games are going to do incredibly well, but I think it's going to be later in the run. If we want to capitalize on what's going to move really quickly here soon, it's going to be these coins. So the top thing I'm looking at, I told you AVAX. I think one of the hottest new technologies launching on it is what my buddy Elliot has created called Black Hole. I own a stake in that company. Just being completely transparent with you. But I think with the huge amount of wave of money that's about to come to AVAX, Elliot's basically created the DEX that everybody's going to be launching everything on. And I think Black, which is the token that's launching there soon, is going to be probably one of the hottest coins of this year. In tag team with his other coin, Super, which gives people access to it and they builds on top of it and they work together. And I think Super is going to do extremely, it's probably the best coin in gaming crypto. And I think so many things are built on and run around it that the combination of AVAX, Black, and Super is going to do incredibly well. So I just want to throw it out there. That's probably like one of my biggest bets. I'm a massive investor in Super, huge investor in AVAX, stakeholder in Black. I'm all in on that area right there. I had to give you a little tip on that one. Now, when it comes to coins that are going to run very, very hard, AI is the hottest narrative and most overvaluated narrative in the entire world right now. Everybody is obsessed with AI. Everybody's throwing billions and billions and billions of dollars with AI. When crypto comes and starts disrupting banks and everything that's going on over here, AI is going to be the hottest, pumpiest runner there is by far. And so if you want to build an AI portfolio that's in the level 2 area, I would get BitTensor, Near, AI's Network, and Destra. And that's as deep as I would go. Also, I would add ZigChain. That's another very like mid-tier level 2 AI coin. Why? All right, Near and BitTensor are probably the most reputable coins in all of AI. Internet Computer is great too. I just prefer BitTensor and Near. I think they're all going to get really good returns. I think Tau is going to do the best of them all. So that's why I'm mostly just all in on Tau. But Near and Internet Computer are really good choices too. If you want to do your research and pick one, I'd go for those. Aya's network is a good old vintage classic that's, I think, going to get to Near and BitTensor levels, but it's a little bit smaller. So we could see BitTensor Near, they'll probably do 5-6x's from here from the hype. That'll make AIs do about a 10x. And then if I'm looking for ones that are probably going to do like those really wild X's, but are also good reputable companies that are making money, it's going to be Destra and ZigChain. Okay. And that's where I would conclude the AI portfolio at the level 2 areas. The other place that's going to be pumping really hard is going to be RWA assets. And this is basically turning stocks, real estate, anything into blockchain, basically moving over. You're seeing, for example, Robinhood doing this. You're seeing BlackRock trying to do this. You're seeing banks trying to do this. Now, I like RWA almost more than AI because people are really keen on AI right now. You're seeing a lot of coins do some big movements in AI already. Real world assets are a little less understood and less hypey, but they're going to have that demand from the real companies. Now, I think my favorite coin right now at the top of this, if I'm going down, is going to be Clearpool. The things they're doing with loans, moving stuff on the blockchain, moving assets on the blockchain, everything they're doing in decentralized finance, it's more of a DeFi coin than an RWA coin. I think Clearpool is going to be one of the most nuclear runners there is. I love that coin. I think Chint AI is another really good one. And then if we're just getting really boring, I would just go with Ondo. And then finally, the lowest one in the level 2 area I would put on is Pinlink. This one has a really good reputation. It has the momentum behind it. Everybody knows about Pinlink, and I like Ori Chain a lot too. I also like Lumia a lot. Pin is my favorite out of those ones. I think that one's going to do the best. But I like Ori, I like Lumia, and that's about as low as I'm going to go on those particular coins. Now, if we're getting to kind of the level 3 area, but also some solid level 3s, I'm going to get into some very dirty coins here at the end of the video, but these are kind of like, I'm going to get into level 4 coins actually at the end of this video. These level 3 coins I think are still really great companies. They're just at lower market caps right now. So privacy I think is going to be a huge narrative because all these AI coins, all these RWA coins, they need privacy and they need decentralization of all these servers and all the processes running them. This is essentially what anyone does. So it plugs into all these coins. So it's infrastructure that plugs into all of them. I also think Tau is going to be one of the biggest runners. So TauBot, basically the DEX that is being built around Tau. I think if Tau does a 5x from here, TauBot's going to do like a 15x from here. So I think TauBot is probably going to be one of the hottest runners based on Tau. Another runner that I'm just seeing getting all the attention on CT and Twitter and doing all the right marketing moves is Gray. And so this is basically a DEX or a solution that adds liquidity to smaller coins. When you start trading smaller coins, you're going to see that you're going to have massive slippage. So if you sell $10 of the coin, you're only going to get $8 because there isn't the liquidity to supply your trade. Gradient fixes this, so I think it's going to be huge. And then another coin based around privacy, Privix, I think is going to absolutely crush it. It's like anyone, but what it does is it privatizes a lot of things on Ethereum, again, keeping everything anonymous. Now, those are some really good, smaller, but like higher pumpage coins. Now, if we're talking about like the dirty coins, the really crazy ones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the big list of them, and it's right here. This is a video I made on all the dirty low caps, and I made this a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, actually, when everything was at crazy low prices. And if you got it on the coins then, you're doing really well right now. But I think a lot of the smaller cap coins are at incredibly low prices right now that are going to give those type of returns I talked about at the beginning of the video. But I don't want to make a 2-hour long video right here. I could make another whole hour on the smaller caps. So what I suggest you do is this. 1, turn off this channel, never come back. What in fuck's name are you? Don't invest anything in crypto at all. Everybody here in their first year loses money. You are going to lose money in your first year. I'm telling you that straight up. You just shouldn't be doing this at all. You should just come to this channel for the yucks, the buys. That's it. But what I suggest you do right now, if you're going to ignore all my first level advice, is stick to that layer 1 if you're very new to crypto, stick to that layer 2 if you're somewhat familiar with crypto, and maybe that layer 3 if you really want to gamble. Then these coins right here, this is like, let's imagine you go to a Vegas casino. It's already pretty bad, but then imagine there's like some back room that doesn't require you to have your shirt on. You must be 6 drinks deep, and being on Molly is required. And there aren't trash cans. You can just throw your trash on the floor. Like when you get done drinking, you just throw it on the floor and you just gamble with anything in the room. You can get a chair, your teeth, your hentai comic book collection. It's all on the table. That's these coins right here. This is the dirty room that I don't suggest you go in, but if you want to go in there, it's where the crazy We're doing this. You'll get AIDS, herpes, guaranteed, but you might actually make some money too. Probably not, but there they are. So subscribe to this channel, like this video, because that's going to get you access to the whitelist of the meme coin. Maybe. It's still going to be very competitive. Follow me on X. That's going to increase your chances even more. This video has been long enough, so I'm going to go do some other stuff. Goodbye.